everybody, and welcome back. I'm Kenny.
I'm Rio.
And today we are going to talk about self-exploration.
Self-exploration.
Now, you're probably wondering, why do we talk about self-exploration today? I can't say it because it's a requirement cut, so I will not. However, I am Kenny.
Right.
And he is Ria.
I am.
And that's enough because we are able to explore ourselves and give information about how we go about that journey, which we are on every day and have been since we met.
And hopefully us going into our self-exploration can help you with your self-exploration. Because guess what? You got a self, she got a self, I got a self.
Do me a favor, can you look up definition of self-exploration real quick and read it for us?
Definition of self-exploration. I got you. The definition of self-exploration is the examination and analysis of one's own unrealized spiritual or intellectual capacities. I'm gonna say it one more time for people in the back.
It's me.
The examination and analysis of one's own unrealized spiritual or intellectual capacities. So when you are exploring the self, you are examining and analyzing your own unrealized or unconscious spiritual and intellectual capacities.
Both of us are pretty interested in the subconscious mind.
Absolutely.
Just in general.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I will. I can speak for you too.
Yeah.
We kind of nerd out about the subconscious mind. So
All the time.
those who know us know that we're like in there trying to figure it out because it's really, we're kind of interesting. Like not just us, like me or him, but like all. Like the self is really, really complex, really interesting, and really fascinating. So today we're going to talk a little bit about like the journey of self-exploration, more specifically our journeys individually and as a unit.
So what have you taken within yourself that was unrealized and made it realized?
That's kind of a heavy first question. Is that what you want to say first?
Yeah, because that's what the definition was talking about. Unrealized spiritual capacities and intellectual capacities.
Okay.
What just anything that you did not realize and then you realized, and then it's like, oh, I guess like an aha or a light bulb moment.
Okay. That there's a conscious and a subconscious mind.
Nice.
That's one.
Are there any spiritual or intellectual components that you have discovered lately or even just this year?
Yes. Actively, as of today, I started reading, I don't know if you guys have heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm hoping I'm saying his last name right. I'm reading it on Audible, so I don't know if y'all have Audible, but I love Audible. Okay, so this one is called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And the concept of this is like, he says how to lose your mind and create a new one. This is something that I just became more aware of because I've been, for a while now, acting on trying to like, I've been trying to shift my awareness.
You talk about your awareness. How do you know the boundaries of your awareness?
You kind of don't until you do.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because, okay, like, so awareness.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably describe awareness for myself, personal opinion, I guess. I would describe my awareness as the knowing or observation of what I can sense.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense because we perceive our world. We perceive our whole reality through our senses. You know, sight, touch, smell, taste.
Feel.
That's touch.
Oh.
Sight, touch, taste, smell.
Sight, touch.
Touch, taste, smell, and hearing.
I'm like, why are we
And
forgetting
hearing.
the last one?
Yeah, it's hearing.
There's also senses that I'm aware of, right? There's other senses that we just don't like list that I think is kind of up for debate for some people.
Yeah, but those are the main 5 that we use and tap into to perceive our reality.
That we like grow up knowing about.
Right.
So why'd you bring that question up?
Because you said your awareness was associated with your senses.
Yeah. Okay, well then I think it's bigger than that then.
Okay.
Because I don't really feel like... I feel like I'm moving away from focusing on the traditional 5 senses to find my awareness.
Okay.
Or to explore the boundaries of my awareness. I think just only depend on those like 5 senses can limit you.
Yeah. When I think about awareness, I'm always thinking about the things I'm always doing like automatically. What am I doing automatically that I don't even know? Because to me, those things that I'm doing automatically are associated with some kind of subconscious function that's taking place because I don't even know I'm doing it because it's happening automatically. So.
Okay, how do you become aware of what you're doing automatically though? Because I would argue that the average person doesn't know what they're doing automatically because it's automatic. And most of us grow up with our parents doing things automatically and they don't know, and we watch them do that, and then we come to ourselves as like more mature or adults or so, and we start doing things that we're also unaware of. So like, how do you even know that you're unaware of something if you're unaware of it?
Well, I think it's 2 things. I think attention, because the things that are happening automatically, even though they happen automatically, if you shift your attention to yourself as you are doing those things automatically, then you can stop yourself from doing it. So, for example, say you're just always used to just like going for like a certain color when you do art or something like that. If you stop before you even do it automatically, now you're no longer doing it automatically, and you can always stop yourself from doing things. So when you stop and then you start thinking about doing something different, then you're kind of interrupting that automatic process. I feel like that's one way that you can figure out what you're unconsciously doing. Another way is have somebody...
I was gonna say, so just label that, like give it a title, like pattern breaking.
Yeah, like pattern breaking. And because a lot of times we're doing patterns just like automatically, just keeping them up. We don't even know that we're doing it until we stop ourselves. Or number 2, somebody tells you. Somebody will tell you. I'm sure this has happened to everybody, where someone will be like, "Hey, you know you're doing that?" And you'll be like, "Me? No, I had no idea I was doing that." And then once that happens, and it's like now you're thinking about, okay, well, let me stop doing that all the time because somebody can call me out for it. So you can use the people around you, and you can also use your own attention to help you manage your unawareness versus your awareness.
I feel like a good thing that you could do based on what you just said is that like just kind of go through your daily routine. If you, for example, if you're constantly putting your hair slicked back like this, and you have no other restrictions versus you just want to put your hair back like this, then as you get up every day, then now tomorrow when you get up, let your hair free.
Right.
And then ask yourself, why do I always put my hair in a bun? And that's very minimal and very simple, but it can get you in the habit of just starting to ask yourself the question, which is his favorite question, is why? This man asks why all the time. It's his favorite question. You say something, why? You do something, why? And for the longest time, it was like, oh my gosh, stress me out. But like,
it stress everybody out.
Everybody out.
My mom, my dad, everybody, everybody around me always ask. Why you always ask me why so much?
All parties involved.
All parties involved. But I mean, it's just what I always do, and I'm always. I guess maybe I'm just curious, and with my curiosity, I'm always asking why about everything that's happening in my surroundings. So I guess because I'm always asking why, I'm always trying to figure out like, well, why is this happening? Well, why is this happening? You know. And I guess I just never really stopped for real.
So, what do you feel like gave you the biggest push into shifting your awareness?
The biggest thing that I would say gave me the biggest push in awareness of self, for me personally in my life, is meditation.
When did you start meditating? When did you start meditating?
2015. So what is that?
Really? 2015?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long time, but that's like a long time.
Yeah, it is.
I just feel like
it is a long time.
I haven't heard anybody say 2015 in a minute.
It's been a minute. So yeah, like 2015 is when I first started meditating. So when you're sitting there, not doing anything, and you're just there, the only thing that's happening is not your body movement, not any patterns or anything. The only thing that's happening is your mind, and that is what's happening. And that was the number one thing I realized when I first started meditating, is that my mind is going. It's really going, and it's going all the time. And so then I was like, wait a minute, like, how is this even happening? You know,
because I'm sitting still.
Because I'm sitting still. I'm really like just sitting there chilling, and my mind's going like this, just going and going and going. And it's like, once I realized how much my mind was going, I'm like, oh my God, is this happening when I'm walking? You know what I'm saying? Is this happening when I'm like talking to people? Is this happening when I'm at work? You know, so it's like, I said, I need to figure this out, because it's just like going so much that it's kind of alarming. You know, it's kind of concerning. I need to maybe look into this a little bit. That's really the original reason why I started, for real. So then once I started realizing that my mind was going like that, the longer I started meditating, the more I started to realize that certain thoughts made me feel certain ways. So if I thought about something that was like just morbid or something like that, like just death, then all of a sudden I would feel like my body would feel down, my energy would feel low. But if I thought about something different, then other feelings would come up. I did an exercise with her one time where we was just like chilling, and then I said, say the word 2-year-old. And when she said 2-year-old, she was like, oh, I feel different after saying 2-year-old. And it's just like,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and that just shows that, like, when you say 2-year-old, the thought about a 2-year-old comes to mind. But then when you start thinking about a 2-year-old, you just feel a little bit lighter than what it is that you were feeling before you was even saying the word 2-year-old. So I started realizing that thoughts are associated with certain energies or feelings that you feel within yourself. And then I started thinking, okay, well, what thoughts are correlated with what energies, you know? So let me figure that out, because I don't want to have my mind going and going and going. And as it's going and going and going, it's just running over topics like death and all this other stuff. I want to stop those energies so I can feel stabilized within my own mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because you don't want to be at work or talking to your family member or having an important conversation, and then your mind's just going and going and going, and then all these energies that are associated with words or thoughts that you don't really want to have at that moment, you don't want to put that into whatever you're doing, you know, because like I said, when I was sitting there, my mind was going. All those energies was happening and taking place within me. So if that's happening, and I can't even, if that's happening when I'm sitting down, I would imagine what's happening when I'm standing up or at work or doing whatever actions or activities that I normally do. And I want to make sure that I'm intentional, not necessarily taking any kind of energy away or just making sure that I don't think certain thoughts, but just making sure that I'm intentional with whatever energy that I want to put into things by making sure that I'm using the right thoughts and using the right intention in the actions that I want to build with.
That was a lot.
It is a lot.
I'm sitting here.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
It makes sense to me though.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I didn't just sit down and meditate. I did not, because.
And there's other ways to become more self-aware other than meditation, and it's not just the only way.
Yeah, for me, it's because I was like hella anxious. Like for real.
Yeah. I
was really anxious, and to the point where like I wasn't getting anything done. I've always been able to like get things done if I really, really like need to.
Right.
But it was like so toxic because I was so anxious and everything was just heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that you kind of were like, hey, chill out. Because I was so anxious all the time. I'd wake up and be like, ah. I'd wake up, get a text, freak out. Okay, so the way I came across to being more self-aware is noticing how anxious I was. Like, he felt all these things moving during his meditation session. I felt things taking place in my life outside of meditation, which kind of furthers his point about saying, like, it's not the only way to go about it, but it is a very, very effective way of going about it. And I think something that people should strive for is doing meditation as you led with, because I feel like I was able to notice like things that were making me more anxious.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out why, because once I realized that I was being anxious, I was able to be like, okay, why am I anxious? And those questions about wondering why someone like touching me made me feel like this, why someone speaking too loudly made me freak out. It's like these questions help me kind of start picking my brain apart, picking like my experiences apart and figuring out like, why do I respond to things in this manner?
So you started asking yourself why?
I guess I kind of have to be asking me why. You know, so yeah, I started asking myself why, and you know what? I'm glad I did, because now I'm always asking myself why for everything. And to be honest, it helped. Because if his mind was going like this, I don't know. I just know that mine was really going really fast. Really fast. Because when I met him, he was already meditating.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so you had a little bit of time to kind of like step into yourself, just at least a tad, you know? So I think one thing that both of us are like really interested in is living an intentional life. For so long, that's really why we have like a lot of boundaries and stuff with our like friends and our family and like just people that we meet in general, is because at least for me, I've noticed that when I'm not intentional with my time and with my experience as a human, I guess, in this life, I'm more uncomfortable. But when I do things with intention, I feel like I respect myself more.
What would you say if someone was to say, I don't know what it means to do something with intention? How would you tell them to practice doing things with intention?
Understanding your why. For example, a lot of times people will want to hang out or talk on the phone or do whatever, right? I know for myself that after a certain amount of like, I call it peopling, after a certain amount of like interacting with other people, I feel like my energy feels depleted. Right. And I know that after a certain amount, I don't even have that much more to give. So I know that I can't accept going to a place with somebody or talking on the phone with somebody until I kind of recharge myself. Yeah. So an intentional act would be, okay, wanting to hang out with a friend, but saying, okay, I can't do it tomorrow because I already know that today I'm too drained and I'm not ready. I won't be able to be fully recharged by tomorrow, but I can hang out with you maybe like 2-3 days from now, so that I can give that person all of me in that moment, you know, and give them what they deserve out of that interaction with me. So it kind of can like slow you down a little bit, and maybe that's not like the most fun for everybody around, but at least I know that if I hang out with somebody, I can give them me and not like halfway give them my energy. And I think that's important. That's intentional. It's a good way to make sure I'm not stressed. It's a good way to not spread negative energy to others because I'm just I won't be overwhelmed at that point. And I feel like it's a thought out plan because I'm able to understand how I function and kind of teach others how I function so that we can have a peaceful and healthy relationship and interaction.
That makes sense.
It does?
Yeah, I think it does make sense.
Why? And do you do that as well? Would you say you do that as well?
Yeah, I feel like I am very intentional about my energy expenditures, if that makes any sense. If I feel depleted, then I'm out of there. I'm not gonna keep trying to pour from an empty cup, metaphorically, if you will, and because it doesn't do anybody any good. Because one, you're not really able to give anything to anybody, and then two, you only leave feeling like you hurt yourself. So if you keep trying to pour from an empty cup, you don't want to hurt yourself, and two, you want to make sure you're giving people good energy.
How many times have y'all poured from an empty cup? And is that something that you want to switch up this year? I feel like, it's June now, right? It's June.
It's June.
It's June.
Mm-hmm.
So it's June now. People a lot of people do New Year's resolutions at the top of the year. It's June now. Like, how many times up until this point of the year have you overworked yourself, depleted your cup, hung out with people you didn't want to hang out with? Like, how many times have you done things that didn't really make you feel good? And did that work out for you? Did it affect the next activity you had to do? Did it affect your next day? Did it affect your at-home relationships, your partner, whatever it is? Like, did it work for you?
Yeah.
And if it didn't, do you understand why?
Some people don't even know where their cup is, though.
Yeah.
And some people don't know. If you don't even know where your cup is, then you don't even know what's in the cup.
How do you find your cup?
You don't even know if you have anything in your cup, or if you even need to take something from somebody else's cup. How would you say that you monitor what's in your cup?
I get angry.
So your emotions.
I feel like I get obviously irritated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like noticeable. I feel like you can tell when my cup is getting empty, because I start getting like fidgety. I feel more short. My answers are more short.
Mm-hmm.
I stop talking as much. I'm less jolly. I might not smile as much. I feel like I look like I go from like this to like.
So monitoring how you feel emotionally is something that helps you figure out or measure what's in your cup.
Personally,
Mm.
yeah. However,
I think that makes sense.
You think so?
Yeah, because I feel like once you're tired, I feel like if you're tired, like you don't have any. If you don't have anything in your cup, I feel like that corresponds with being tired. And I feel like if you look or feel like you're tired, then you probably just don't have anything in your cup. So I think that makes sense.
Why do you feel like we're even talking about this in the first place? Like, why do you feel like it's important to even look into yourself and go on a self-exploration journey? Because I don't feel like not everybody finds this as something that's valuable for them to kind of to tap into or dive into. And also, everybody has their own space to do whatever they want. You don't have to do this at all. It's just interesting and it's beneficial.
To be honest, I think everybody feels at some point in their life like they did something that they didn't mean didn't mean to do, or that they didn't really want to do. And I think that disconnect of doing something and then looking back in retrospect to see your action and saying that actually doesn't align with what it is that I actually believe or feel like I want to follow through with, I think those kind of thoughts happen with everybody. And I think you either A, know the first step to take to fix whatever it is that you want to fix and to do something different, or two, you're just kind of lost. And that's really kind of the first fork in the road, is do you know what to do versus do you not know what to do, And it's like, if you don't know what to do, then you're just kind of sitting there kind of twiddling your thumbs, just kind of, just guessing and checking, just checking, trying to see if something is sticking versus something not sticking. Is this what I want to do versus this is not? Is this not what I want to do? And you're just kind of like going through that kind of process of elimination. But if you know exactly what to do, then you kind of just fix it immediately. And I feel like everybody's been in a situation where they've done something they didn't want to do and they want to fix it. And then they hit that fork where they know how to fix it or they don't know how to fix it. And I feel like that's really kind of the first step to self-awareness, really, I feel like.
The fork?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like I was in the lost phase for a long time.
You know,
like
and a lot of people are lost and they end up repeating the things that they don't want to do. And they see it and they're like, man, I don't want to do this no more. But then they do it again. And then they kind of almost in a sense get a little depressed or start feeling down or sad about themselves because they're like, man, how do I escape this cycle of continuing to do the same thing over and over again that I don't necessarily align with, but I don't know how to stop it.
I feel like that's exactly my journey personally. It's like, I don't have an example. Okay, that's my journey. That's my journey personally because I feel like I was getting super frustrated with making the same mistakes over and over again. But it's not like I didn't want to fix the mistakes. It's just at every new obstacle there was another fork. You know, so like as you have these different thoughts that come up or activities throughout your day, there's another fork in the road that you have to kind of navigate. And so I'd be here, I'd be lost. I'd take the lost route. I'd keep trying to find something.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to look for, not knowing what I'm even going towards. Just like, okay, I'm lost, so let's just keep walking, right?
Yeah.
You know, internally. And then I would get to another spot. I'm like, here's the fork again.
Yeah.
Lost again.
Right.
I'm lost so much, I'm going back in a circle
Right.
for the same thing. But then I was getting so angry with myself because I was like, why am I making the same mistakes? And then it's actually a really beautiful space to be in, although it can be quite frustrating.
It is frustrating. It's not that it just can't. It is definitely frustrating because
if you don't have patience at that moment.
And that's another thing.
I didn't. I don't always.
Because then there are also qualities and characteristics that you have to tap into in order to navigate the fork of having the right step versus being lost. And if you don't have the qualities or characteristics that's needed or necessary in order for you to take the right path and to where you can fix something versus being lost again, then you're just going to keep getting lost and you're going to go in a circle and you're going to hit the fork again, you're going to get lost again. Then you're going to go around a circle and then you're going to get lost again. And it just keeps happening over and over and over again. And it's just like a system of trial and error until you actually figure out, okay, well, what qualities or characteristics are needed in order for me to build so that I can get out of this fork and just go the right way.
So how often are you doing this fork?
Every day. Every day. Say, for example, you take one behavior that you don't want to do and you fix it. Well, now that you fix this behavior, now you're in a new reality, if you will, where now you're doing something totally different that you've never done before. But now that you're in this new reality, now you have a new set of decisions to make. And in this set of decisions to make is another fork. It's like, okay, are you going to make, in this new set of decisions that you're going to make in your new reality, since you're no longer at this back fork, now you're going to have to make another decision again. And is this one going to be the right one? Or is it going to be another decision where you're going to get lost? Are you going to automatically act in this new decision, this new set of realities that you have now tapped into because you fixed the previous problem? And so now it's just like, now after you fix one of your problems, now it becomes a game of maintaining that awareness of what you fixed, and then keeping that along the new path, and making sure that you use your previous experiences to inform your new direction of where it is you want to go. And that's happening all the time, constantly.
One thing that helps me a lot is Erykah Badu. Love her. Love to meet her if she ever sees this, which I don't know if she will, but you know she does. Love you. Anyways,
yeah.
Bag Lady. Her song Bag Lady.
Yeah.
You know, the overall concept of that is like, if you're carrying all this extra weight with you all the time, you're not going to get very far. It's going to take you a long time because it's just like weighing you down. So I feel like at every fork, if you're able to find the way and stop being lost, you can drop a bag.
Yeah.
If that helps you a little bit, it's like it can help you stop slowing down, because if you can like drop a bag, you can get a little more movement to like walk through it.
Yeah, and some of those paths are they're not wide anymore. As you get further and further, some of them like real thin and skinny, and then if you got all these extra bags weighing you down, you're gonna fall off the path.
I want to talk about you talk about realities, right?
Yeah.
I became aware that you can create your reality, which also really helped me with learning about becoming self-aware, because ever since I learned about manifesting, I have been slightly obsessed. And I learned that one big piece about manifesting is that you have to you have to really like dig into yourself and understand your energy, so that you can maintain certain energy to attract what you want, right? So I've been playing with that idea for a couple of years now, and on multiple scales it's worked. I'm still exploring it, obviously, because like self-exploration is a journey.
Yeah,
it takes a while. But I've noticed a few things along the way, and I've learned, like I said, about things have certain energies, hold certain energies. It's like I've noticed that, let's say money. Because money, everybody knows money, and it's kind of an easy example.
Yeah.
I would have like a negative mindset around like money, and I would kind of assume that since I already would make this X amount of money, that's just what is available to me in my life.
Yeah.
Just kind of forever.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if you were born into this class of money, then you can't really go past that level, because I thought that like that is the only thing. But I'm learning that like
having a money mindset is like
big.
It's a big thing that we don't even know that we've been brought up under a certain money mindset until like later down the road. If you've been brought up under a money mindset where it's like, okay, I need to conserve my funds so that I can make sure I have enough for later, then in a sense that's almost like you're not trusting that more is going to come, because you're always trying to conserve and conserve and conserve, and
it's valid for people to do that valid. Because like I get it. Trust me, I get it.
That's the money mindset that I was brought up under. I was trying to save every single penny. I was trying to save. I would cut back on my food. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to cut expenses everywhere.
On sleep, so I can work more.
So I can work more. Just trying to cut expenses all the time, because I was brought up to believe that I need to make sure that I cut back so that I can have enough. But if I'm always cutting back, then I'm always thinking about not having enough.
Yeah, but that energy of not having enough, it's now what you are, what you're. I might be getting too deep on this. I'm not sure.
I think it's self-exploration gets deep.
Yeah. Okay. So stay with me, y'all.
Yeah.
If your new wave, if your energy is that I need to cut back and I need to, like if you're always trying to cut back on things, then that your energy now that you're like attracting, like what you're attracting to yourself is something that represents the cutting back.
Exactly.
So like now your money is going to be on this cut back level. Now you're surrounded, people that you're around, people that you even attract are going to have the same mindset of cutting back. I've noticed, and this is fascinating to me, again, why I like this whole energy talk and everything, is that as I have been adjusting my money mindset, I'm manifesting and bringing into my life friends who have different views on money.
Absolutely.
The friends I have now like to spend money.
Yeah,
they like to spend a lot of money, and it little bit stresses me out, because I'm like, still part of me, it's still I'm working every day on my money mindset. I really am, and it's taken a while to just even break down to get where I am now, where I'm like, wanting to spend money and wanting to believe that I have it, and like, we've come a long way with money.
Yeah. If you want to check your own money mindset, all you got to do is when you put your dollar down to go spend something, stop and do a check-in with yourself. What are you thinking at that moment? Are you are you kind of hesitant? Are you kind of reluctant to put the money down? You know what I'm saying? Are you hesitant to put that dollar down for whatever it is that you're spending in that moment, even if you need whatever it is you need or want whatever it is you want? You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. Do a check-in with yourself when you are spending money on what you need and when you're spending money on what you want, because those two also have different kind of pathways and affect people differently in how they think. I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna I'll put the dollar down. Yeah, I need this. I'm gonna put the money down. But when it comes to what I want, I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that yet. I don't need that. So I don't need to put my money down on what I want. So now I'm thinking about what I want with a lack money mindset. You know what I'm saying? So if you ever need to do a check-in or just to figure out what kind of money mindset you have, check your thoughts and your emotions when you're laying the dollar down, and that'll let you know.
Like, feel how you feel, because I used to sweat. I used to be at self-checkout and be like, "Ooh, it's getting too high.
Yeah.
Maybe I should put something back."
God.
Stress.
Did they get over 100? Oh my God. It's 200. Oh my God.
Not even talk about getting over $100.
Yeah, for 100. Man, I used to. If I went to the store and I spent over $100, I was like, why did I just do that?
Yeah.
Why did I just do that? Do I even need all of this stuff? You know?
And it would be like essentials. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like, in that space, in that time, it made a lot of sense because we just wanted to.
I mean, that's just what we were brought up under. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to what we were saying is about being raised. We are raised under certain money mindsets. Because guess what? People who are really, really wealthy, they're not even batting an eye about whatever it is they buying. They just throw it in the bag. Throw that in the bag. Throw that in the bag too. Matter of fact,
I'll take your bag.
I'll take your bag. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they like, and that's the energies they put in this stuff. So they're constantly spending without a moment's of hesitation and without any kind of thought about, oh, do I need this? Do I blah? Without doubting their own expenditures. They don't doubt what they spend. You know what I'm saying? And if you're at the register doubting what you're spending, then that's the energy you're putting doubt energy into your money. And then you don't want to put that into your money.
Well, you're putting doubt energy into yourself too, because you're not even believing that you can come up with it again.
Yeah, and don't disrespect yourself because
don't disrespect yourself
because whatever you buying that is for you, and you needed it. You went to the store to go buy what you wanted, so don't disrespect yourself by doubting whatever it is you decided to go spend on.
What he said.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that because for real, I think one big thing about self-exploration for sure, one that's been huge for me is understanding the concept of a dollar. Mm-hmm. So number one, respecting the dollar.
Yeah.
Right? Respecting how money works in our society and understanding like the way to give and receive, help the economy, yada, 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 right? Mm-hmm. But two, just understanding that money is a good example of energy.
Yeah.
And money is a good way to kind of teach yourself how energy flows in your life. I feel like when my money was not moving, neither was my energy. I wasn't flowing right.
Yeah.
I'm noticing that the more and more that I like try to clear myself out and like channel a more stable, healthy, almost neutral energy.
Yeah.
My money's growing. My interaction with how I spend things is changing, and so I guess I personally use like money as a way for me to like see a physical result of how I am doing energetically.
Yeah.
If that helps you, because it helps me stay it helps me keep myself accountable on my progress of self-exploration.
Yeah.
Not that money is the only way you can do this, but it is a resource that has helped us at least check into self-exploration and see like, am I making progress? Are things changing? Because it's one of the hardest things for us to change.
Yeah. Your money mindset is one of the hardest things to change because one, you have to become aware of your money mindset to even change it. Two, you have to put into place new mindsets so that you can change it. And then three, you have to forcefully activate those new mindsets because those old mindsets are already in the habit of following through in the process through which they're followed through with, you know? So
I want to say too with that is like, be patient. He helped me with patience, guys, because wasn't the most patient person previously. Be patient with yourself. I mean, real. Be patient with yourself as you're. Please hold for fireworks. Right. I don't know.
Is that a gun?
No. Okay, please be patient with yourself as you're trying to readjust and look into yourself and change your mindset and just finding yourself, because it is not easy.
Mm-mm.
And I know that all over social media and like on TV and everything else are just like, read a book, change this, wake up early, brush your teeth, meditate. It's like they make it seem like it's so easy, but like
it's not.
This started before you.
Yeah.
This started with your family. This started with their upbringing. This is passed down.
It started before you was even born,
and before your parents were even born. It like this has been coming through the pipeline.
Because mindsets get passed down from the parents to the kids, and that's how things get cycled. You know, your money mindset came from your parents,
and your schools, and your churches, and your groceries, like everybody.
All these different influences poured all the way into you.
And so if all these things came in, you gotta give yourself some space to take it out. Like that's like a bajillion things coming through that you might not even known about that's already in you and that you're trying to like, it's just part of your surrounding space, just as this couch is part of the set. It's like all these different mindsets are part of the set of your life.
Right.
So in order for you to redesign your set, you have to take a step back, take a breath, give yourself some patience and compassion.
Yeah, that's
a lot of compassion with yourself, and just try to figure out, what do I actually want in my life?
Right.
What am I doing right now that seems to be getting in the way of what I want? Mm-hmm. And then as I approach these forks in the road, what can I do to make this feel a little bit easier for me?
Right. That's a good list. That's a good list of things.
I feel we talk and then it just goes by so fast. It's already almost
over already.
It's getting long on this. We've been going for a minute now. I kind of want to keep going with this.
This topic could definitely have a part 2, for sure.
Yeah, because I'm actually just now feeling warmed up again.
Because like money mindsets and self-exploration. Because like self-exploration and awareness and all of these things, money, all of these things are a part of you. It's a part of who you are, and feeling who you are, doing check-ins, analyzing your mindsets, and taking unrealized spiritual and intellectual capacities and realizing these spiritual and intellectual capacities. They all take time and they all take work, and you can't do everything at once. And that's also the trick too. Is like you got to pick something to work on and then work on that thing. And then be okay with working on that thing, and then when it's time to move on to the next thing, then you can move on to the next thing. Because like you can't try to
school.
Yeah, it is kind of like school. You can't do everything all at once, because if you try, then you're gonna go crazy. Because you're gonna realize what you're lacking in all these different areas. You're gonna try to make up for what it is that you're lacking in all these different areas, and it's gonna drive you crazy.
We've been talking about direction lately. And I think what you just said makes sense, is because like if you don't really have a direction, or like you try to handle everything at once, then you're not going to handle anything.
Right.
And everything's just going to be halfway done, and you're going to just be in the same spot a little bit further in each direction, but still stuck. So just slow down.
Yeah.
And also, I kind of want to address like what you said. You said all these things are you. I feel like it's a little bit more like all these things are like. Maybe that's the question to ask you guys. Is that you?
Who are you?
And who are you if you didn't care about your spending habits the way you do, or you didn't care about that, if you didn't care about how you dressed, if you didn't care about the most popular song out right now, if you didn't care about social media or like what is popular, if you didn't care about all these things your parents said or whatever, then who are you?
If you didn't care about who you hurt, if you didn't care about your mistakes, if you didn't care about what you did wrong, who are you?
So I feel like we could leave you with that question, and I'd love to know your answer if you want to comment down
Yeah,
below.
please put it in the comments because I want to know who you guys are.
So yeah, who are you?
Who are you?
And if you don't know, write down, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know who I am.
And that's perfectly fine. And we can figure it out together.
I actually would really love to, because we're reading a lot of books and we're trying to explore this on our own. And so if you guys are interested in topics like this about how to kind of deepen your subconscious and like explore it and figure out more of who you are as a person, we would love to get into that more. So let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a part 2 of this to this topic, and yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful for you all. It's been a really rewarding journey for us thus far. It's never ending, probably. I've kind of just accepted that it's a never ending journey, but it's a beautiful one nonetheless. So
that's what makes it great.
It makes it great because every day there's a new fork.
Every day is something new.
And sometimes you can take the right path. So yeah, I hope this helped you guys out, and don't forget to share with a friend. Turn notification bell on so you can know when we upload, and send us some questions to ask or topics to talk about, because we would love to. You can either put it in the comment box below, or you can DM us on Instagram at It's Kenny J or at Rio_LaShawn. And those are our Instagram names. So DM us, subscribe, follow us on there, tell a friend, and we'll love to hear with you. We'd love to hear from you next time. So until next time. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah. See you later. And don't forget, don't disrespect yourself, okay?
Don't disrespect yourself.
Don't do it.